and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Boy, we're windy out there today. It is... It was crazy here. I got in early to work on this video today, and as soon as I got here, the power went out. So it just came back on a little while ago, so we're going to work on some stuff together today. But today we're going to be focusing on the Master Layouts 8 die set. Now, if you are new to Gina K Designs, I've been doing a series featuring our Master Layouts die sets and how they work together to create beautiful card layouts. Today we're focusing on our 5x7 Master Layout set, but if you like these cards but you're an A2 card maker, still stay here with us because you can see how you can turn some of your A2 panels into 5x7s, and also how you can just make these same exact kinds of layouts but on the smaller canvas of the A2 size. So we're going to have a lot of fun. I can't wait to get started, but before we do, let's say hello to Tom.
Happy crafternoon, everybody.
How are you today?
I'm better than horrible.
We match a little bit.
We do. Look at that.
We didn't plan that at all today, did we?
We never do.
Yep. It worked out well. So do you have a word of the day, maybe?
I do.
Okay, good. I don't.
No, you don't need to. Yours are too powerful. Yours are too loaded.
We're going to let
you gotta have
correctile dysfunction and the Saggeth just live on.
Gee whiz. Dangerous.
Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, I can only imagine how that was just interpreted by the captions that YouTube automatically puts up.
Oh no.
So I apologize for that. Listen to what I said. Don't read what's on the screen. Okay. Well, Tom, we've got a lot to do today, so I want to get started right away.
Go, girl.
Okay, so for those of you that have been making your binder along with me, I have completed one full binder, and I actually put a little sticker here that I made on my label maker. Let me show that to you up close. I just have mine saying Master Layouts 1 through 6, because I find that 6 Master Layout sets with all of our printable sheets and everything work perfectly in one and a half inch binder. Now, those of you who have 3-inch binders, you might get 12 sets in there. Some of you have 1-inch binders, so you might only get 4 sets in there. It's really however you want to do it, but what I decided to do was to put a little sticker on here and stick with this size binder because I think it's going to look nice on my shelf, and it's a good amount for me to pick up and carry and bring to my desk. Now, I started a new binder, and this one hopefully is going to fit Master Layouts 7 through 12. So last week we did Master Layouts 7, and that was our mini slimline, and we did lots of really pretty layouts for that. We did a masculine card, but today we're focusing on our big 5x7 Master Layout set called Master Layouts 8. Now, I will tell you that on Tuesday night, we have another 5x7 Master Layouts coming called Master Layouts 20 that are going to, that will coordinate with this die set. So if you're collecting, this is your size. You're going to be really excited to see what's coming next Tuesday night. Do I keep my die sets in with my, look at these all crumbled up, with my Master Layout sets? You know, I don't. I just have them all in a little bin, and I keep them in order, and they stay right on my desktop because I use them all the time. And I know which ones are which, but if I get my binder out to do some Try Me cards, I have them right here off to the side. Now, that being said, for those of you that want to keep your Master Layouts dies in with your binder and you want to use your binder every time, I think you could put the Master Layouts die set in a large stamp pocket and put it right here in this empty space. So you have your die set, you've got your die size sheet, and it's ready to go. But it will thicken things up a little bit, so you might only get 5 Master Layout sets in your 1.5-inch binder, and you might have to do your binders a little bit differently. But it doesn't matter, whatever works for you. So this sheet is now available on the blog for download. You can print this out. It's a PDF. All you have to do is download it and then print it out on your home computer. And this is the sizing sheet for Master Layouts 8. It's got the picture of all the different dies that are in the set, and then it's got all the different sizes here, so you can easily refer to them and make sure that they're going to work with whatever project you're going to be making. Then I did the Master Layouts idea sheet, and this one's a little more colorful just so that you could kind of see the different stripes here that are part of this Master Layouts die set. There is a super cool die in here that allows you to do stripes, and it looks like this. And I think it's really fun for those of you that like to do some accent stripes. Maybe you want to do some basket weaving and different kinds of techniques. This is a great die set for all of that. And a single one can be used as a ribbon element. So lots of ways that you can make use of this one. So I did some very simple layouts here. And here I have my tri-cuts. These are pieces that I've already assembled, and I want to show you. Let me get a piece of cardstock here that we can put this on that will help you see the different configurations that you can do with the circles. So you do have your large rectangle and then the outline piece that gives you the black shadow layer or whatever color shadow layer you want. And then we have a strip panel that can be used in any way you want that also has a black layer. Now this will fit going across the card if you want to do a technique where you have, you know, a little strip like a belly band on the card. It can also look really nice this way if you wanted to have 3 even panels. This was sized to work nicely with that. It fits perfectly in there. But it can also be used as a focal image area or a grounding panel for some floral designs. Okay, and then we also have in here this flag. So this flag can be added as a greeting panel. It can be, you know, it can come off the side of this panel. So let's say you were using this as a grounding panel and you wanted to have like a little like thinking of you just kind of going up this way and then a floral design on here. You can also use this way where this can be a little flag with a greeting going across it. I know it's a little bright, but you can see that, right? Okay. So that's another piece that's in there. And this flag is much smaller than the one from one of our from Master Layouts 4. So it's a little bit different in size. Master Layouts 4, let's see here. So you can see Master Layouts 4, this flag is a lot taller than this flag. Okay, and this one is just a little bit wider. This one has a shadow layer, this one does not. This is made really for just tucking in the side, and I really like to use it in color too.
Question.
So, yes.
Carrie wants to know, are the magnetic boards that come with Master Layouts size 6x8?
There are no magnetic boards for Master Layouts. Master Layouts does not come with magnets. We'd have to put too many magnets in there. I mean, like these 2 pieces would take a whole magnet. So I just keep my Master Layouts stored in a stamp pocket, and I keep them in the little folder that comes with them. So they're just all loose in there. I don't keep mine on magnets. But if you want to, you can get our 6x8 magnets to add to them. But for some of these bigger die sets, you might need up to 3 magnets to get them all on there, depending on the die set and how big it is. Okay, and then, of course, we have these strips that can make beautiful little ribbon panels. Now, one of our newer Master Layout sets, and I have to find it here. I think I have it with me. So I don't have it. But this is just a little thick for a ribbon to go with our new Master Layouts 19. But this was really designed to make kind of decorative elements. So I'm going to show you some of the layouts I have coming up. And then I wanted to show you the 3 different ways that you can layer the circles together. So you can do a tight scallop by using the middle circle along with the scalloped circle. You can do a big scalloped edge by using the smaller stitched circle with that scalloped circle. Or you can use all three of these together and have this kind of look where you have the stitched circle in the center, you have a little shadow layer behind it, and then you have the white scallop here, or whatever color scallop you'd want to use. So the black shadow layer on this die is actually the white layer on this die. So you can see how many different ways you can mix and match these together to create different looks for your circles. And these are great, once again, for like those focal images where you just want to like do a floral around here. This is actually a very big element compared to some of our other circles that you've seen in some of our other die sets, like, just as an example, Master Layouts 3. You can see how huge that is compared to the circles that come in there. These circles are great for greetings, but if you want to get a lot on there, this is a nice big circle element. All right, so these are all the little tri-cut pieces. And once again, I got to give a shout out to Yaya, who came up with the name tri-cuts. We've been using it, Yaya, and we love it. And then I'm going to probably use some of these strips in here so I don't have to cut them all out again, but I'll just keep this close by. Now I want to show you some of the layouts that I did, and I based them off of what's in here. So the first layout here are these, and you can see how nice and big and bold these are. Now this Sun-Kissed Coral card base this panel represents the card base. So you would actually cut this card base 10 inches by 7 inches. Okay, so it would be double the size. It would be a full 10 inches across by 7 inches, and then you would score it at the 5-inch mark, and that would turn it into a 5 by 7 card. And that's the proper size of the card base for this master layout set. And you can see this is just a very simple look. You can also see, and I'm going to be referring back to my original master layouts. So Master Layouts 1, way back from the very beginning, has a similar style. This one has an oval, but you could sub in any circle, and it's got the panel with the strip going across the center. If you like A2, go with this set. If you like 5 by 7, go with Master Layouts 8. Now this one here, I used the long piece, this long piece right here that layers together, and I've created, put that back, I've created a focal image here, and then I used a rainbow of stripes going across. I just cut those using that fun die that comes with it in a variety of colors, and I just used that as a belly band, a fun little accent piece. You can do this in alternating colors. You could do blue, green, blue, all the way down to make it more subdued. You can do bright, fun rainbows like this. You can even do brighter ones. I just did a very subtle one. You can do them in neutrals of black and gray. You could do it all different ways, but it really does accent nicely, gives you some interest for behind there. For those of you that are very zealous, you can do the entire card that way if you want. And you can also crisscross these little strips to make kind of a basket weave. And let me just show you. So you would put some of them going this way, some of them going this way. You could weave them in and out to create a fun background across your card, kind of doing that kind of thing, like a lattice look. Okay? So these are fun, but I really like this layout. I think that that's really, I don't know, it's pretty and it gives a little bit of interest. Okay, so that is those layouts. Now here's some more simple layouts here, which I really love. Oh, and remember, each of these layouts can be turned to the horizontal. So you could do your layout this way. You could also turn this panel and just have it extend a little bit on the outside. You can also, extend these going this way. And if they're too short, remember, you can overlap them in the middle and hide them behind your focal panel. So you could do strips as long as you want, as long as you hide them behind something. The seam, you know what I mean, in between. So that's this one. Now, here are some very simple and fun layouts. I just use this one as an accent piece. This could be done in patterned paper, and then you can put your focal image here, and you can wrap a floral design around here and add your greeting. Such a fun layout. This one uses just this panel, and then you could stamp your greeting on here, which I think is really cute. And I love that it gives you an opportunity to stamp the greeting in a different way, just like vertically up the side. And even though it's not necessarily a vertical greeting, it just looks interesting to put it on an angle. So the way I cut the stripes into individual colors, that's a great question. I actually cut a whole panel of this one, and then I cut a whole panel of, I cut a whole panel of this one, a whole panel of this one, a whole panel of the green, a whole panel of the blue, and a whole panel of the purple. So I ended up with 25 strips of paper. Now I can make 5 cards. I could do, green, blue, green, blue, green. I could do, just these 3 colors if you wanted something a little bit more poolish looking, more subdued. But I just cut them all in the same color, and then I just save all my extra strips and I use them for other projects. So I don't do them one at a time on here. I just do the whole thing. It's a quick cut through, and you have a whole bunch of strips that you can use. Okay, so I love this layout here. I think it's really fun, and this is also a really nice thing that you could put some lines on here. You could even use a ruler, and this would be a fun little journaling block if you wanted to do a photograph, like a long photograph. Maybe it's 2 people, and you could crop it out and then just put a little journaling block there. So a lot of these dies are nice and big for scrapbooking too. And again, if you turn them on the horizontal, this one is really fun this way. This one is really fun this way. You could have patterned paper and stamp a skinny long greeting under here. Lots of different ways to use these 2 layouts. Now I have 2 more layouts on this side. So this I love. I think this would be a fantastic congratulations. Maybe you've got a sports bug in your house who, won a first place or, did well in their sporting event. This is also great for graduation cards. You did it. It feels a little bit like a blue ribbon. And an easy layout. Now, we did a layout similar to this, which I want to bring back and show you how you could mix Master Layouts 3 into that same layout. Let me get this book in here. You can do Master Layouts 3 and accent this with one of the squares. And then you can see how that Master Layouts 3 really jazzes up this layout. So that's why mixing and matching these all together is so fun. And then this final one, I cut the strips, and instead of putting them straight up and down like I did on this layout, I put them on an angle. You could also do them the other way, which is what I featured here in the opposite direction. Here you could see I just mix them teal and white, or you could just do 3 teals and just let the background show through. Here I did it in the opposite direction, doing a rainbow, just because I had all those rainbow ones cut out. And you can see how pretty this looks cut in peach here in this sun-kissed coral, but then also how pretty this scallop looks when it's cut in sun-kissed coral to match that card base. We still have our black shadow layers making everything pop, but it's so pretty to add that accent color in here as well. So these are the ideas from the idea sheet. And then I want to show you just a couple very simple cards that I made over the years using Master Layouts 8 that don't even use all the additional pieces. So if you were with us a couple weeks ago when we were in our home studio, I made this card with Master Layouts 8. Master Layouts 8 is phenomenal for your huge floral stencils. And this is our Mega Bloom stencil, and you can see how beautiful you can get 2 big blooms on there. And I don't know, there's something about those big flowers and being able to see a lot more of them on Master Layouts 8 as opposed to Master Layouts 1 and Master Layouts 2. They all look beautiful, but this gives you an opportunity to get a little bit more of this. Okay, so I made this card recently. I also made this card in a recent video where I used Master Layouts 9 and I extended the window. It's a 4-up window. I extended it to make it a nice big card. So this is another fun Master Layouts 8 card, a 5x7. Super easy cards to make. They're, these are exceptionally fun to do with masking magic like this one and stencils. And then here's an old one from back when we had our penguin kit with ThermoWeb. I used the Master Layouts 8 to make this fun card. And the reason why I wanted to show you this today is I wanted to remind you that we've got lots of cute animals in our collection, but some of the animals, you might only be able to fit one animal on there. With a bigger format like this, you can pile them up on top of each other. You can get a lot more going on in your scene building cards when you use a larger layout like Master Layouts 8. All right. And then here's another card that I made probably a couple years ago where I used our curved floral banner and the curved floral banner stencil set. And then I used the masks and fillers to add some texture in here. This was an old butterfly set. I think it was called Flutter by Friends, maybe. I'm not sure, but this one has been retired, but we all have a lot of butterflies, right? And then I used our Lots of Dots here to create movement. This is the Lots of Dots die set. And this just creates movement of the butterfly. You could pop in any beautiful butterfly you have here. But you can see how much more we can get on a 5x7 card. Now, any of these elements would be beautiful on an A2. But here we get to use them all together. And we can use this Lots of Dots and get the whole thing in there to see that movement. So there are some card ideas. I'm going to put these to the side. I'll take pictures of these, even though these are older cards, just to add to the ideas. And even if you don't have these stamp sets or die sets or something's retired, you can certainly sub in other things that you have in your collection to mimic this look. You could use our new little spring forest die cuts, and you can pile 3 little guys on top of each other. You could have the little fox, and you can put the little chicken on top of that, and then have the bird sitting on top of the chicken's head, and have a little stack of 3, and then do all of your background elements. So, again, lots of ways to use these. Now, I don't want to miss any questions, Tom, so if I'm missing stuff, let me know.
Okay, a few quick questions then. Will there be a May kit? If so, release date?
There will not. There will be a May kit. I don't have the release date yet for the May kit. Everything depends on, when things get into our warehouse. But our next release is April 8th, next Tuesday night.
Okay, and are the stripes cardstock or paper?
They're cardstock. I used cardstock to cut these out. And you may notice in here, and I'm going to try to see if I can get this real close to the camera. You may notice in here that when I die cut these, can you see the stitching all along the end there? I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'll probably make this my first card to show you how to do that and how to make it very easy to cut that out to perfectly fit on your Master Layouts 8 die set. And of course, you can use this same technique with an A2. So if you have Master Layouts 8, but you like the stripes and you want to make a smaller card, mix and match them. Use the stripe, the paper strips you know, to create stripes on your card. Strips, stripes, oh my gosh. I'm going to interchange that, but we all know what I'm talking about, right? But use them on an A2 card too. Use them on a mini slimline. Use them on a big slimline card. Lots of ways to mix and match. Okay. So I'm going to take this out because I'm probably going to pilfer some of these so I don't have to cut them out. But I will show you how to cut it out once so you can see how quick and easy it is. And I'm going to put these binders off to the side here. I'll bring them back. And let's get our Master Layouts 8 out. And then I'm going to get my die cutting machine and we're going to cut a few little panels here. Okay? Alrighty. So again, our Master Layouts videos are always kind of long because I really like to show you a lot that you can do. And I'm going to try to do 3 cards again today, and then those along with the other cards that I've shared should be a decent amount for ideas. So let's use some Emerald Coast here. And then I'm going to get the die that makes all the stripes, and I'm going to cut that out. Now, I do have my die cutting machine set just a little tighter since this is a little bit more detailed, and I'm going to cut these out. Okay.
Question, could you sell the Master Layouts in groups like the giveaways the other day?
Oh, goodness. You know, we might consider doing that down the line, some bundling of them, but we wouldn't do it only that way because so many people are new, and, you know, to have to buy a bundle might be a little bit out of some people's budget. But we are looking at an app that can bundle things for us to help make it a little easier for customers to get things that they want. Now, another thing you could do is use this leftover piece. You can get some Connect glue and you can, you know, put all the stripes down like that and get that kind of look. So don't necessarily throw out the negative because that would give you a really cool look too. I would use Connect glue, thin little dots, or maybe even just swipe it through some glue on a piece of acetate. Or what I've done is I squeeze some glue out and put it on my fingers and just kind of rub it all over the back. And then lay that down and put a big acrylic block on it to just get it to dry. So even this piece looks kind of cool, right? You could wrap that around something and make this would make such a cool napkin holder, wouldn't it? You know, if you had your napkin in there. Isn't that fun? So lots of different things that you can do. So don't throw that negative piece out because we don't throw anything out, right? But you can see we were able to cut all of those at one time. So if you want to do 5 different colors, 5 passes on here, and then you've got enough to make 5 different cards. Or you've got enough to cover a big part of your card stock if you want to go all the way down. Okay, now, Tom, there's one thing that I don't know if I have in here, and I might ask you to go get me, is just a plain piece of copy paper, and I don't see that I have any here. So would you mind getting that for me? Okay, thank you. Now the other thing I want to cut is while we've got the die cutting machine out here, I want to cut a plain black panel. I knew there was something I forgot. We were all roaming around in the dark here in our warehouse a little while ago, and I was thinking, oh, I want to get all these things pre-cut. I'd like to get a couple florals colored, and I couldn't do anything because we were literally living in the dark here. But I'm going to cut a black panel using the plain large die from this die set. So this is a big die. And whenever you're sending a big die like this through, I always say tilt it a little bit like that so that one corner goes through first. It's going to go through the machine a lot easier if it goes in one point at a time. I know my shirt does match my die cuts. A little bit, yeah. I've got the pink and I've got the purple. Oh, thank you. Okay, so we've got this cutout here. And I'll save this for cutting some greetings later. Now this panel, I've pre-cut a few of the white pieces. So I'm going to get one of those out of my little baggie of white pieces here. So this is Oh, I have a stain on that. Really? Let's see. Find one that isn't stained. What is wrong with me? Okay. So here is one of the white panels, and you can see that it's got that little stitching. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got the little stitching, and that's what makes this so nice. Now, if you want to cut out panels that match this, and you don't want the master layout set, this panel is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and this panel is 4 3/8 by 6 3/8. So you can always hand cut them yourself, but you know, I love how precise everything is, and I also love the little decorative edge. So let's get that out. We'll do that. And then what else am I going to need? I'm going to need a circle. So I'm going to cut a circle die out of white cardstock. And I'm going to do the 3 layers because I think all 3 layers are really pretty together. Let me take this whole die set out here. So I'm going to use all 3 of these. And what color should I do? Boy, Emerald Coast would be nice, but I don't know if I left enough room to cut out my scallop. I did not. I could have been a little bit better about that, but live and learn. Let's see if I have another piece of Emerald Coast here. If not, we'll pick a different color to be our focal image. Let's make the Wild Wisteria our focal image because I have some Wild Wisteria ones cut out. So I'm going to cut out a Wild Wisteria scallop here.
Question.
Yes.
Can we use your sticky mat with the background stamp on 5x7 card?
Yeah, I believe you can. I can pull that out and we can look. So here, are you talking about the sticky mat or the grip mat? So the sticky mat is definitely bigger than the grip mat. So here's the sticky mat, and here is the 5x7 panel. So definitely it'll work with that. Plenty of room on there. And here is the grip mat. Plenty of room on there. So yes, the answer to that question is yes. And you know, I didn't even think about it, but when I made my video the other night, when I was in my home studio, I did use the sticky mat, or the grip mat. So I didn't remember that, but thank you for reminding us all that we can do that. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out a plain black circle. And that is this one right here, the plain one. And then I'm going to cut a white one that's going to be my focal image. Okay. Let's see. That's going to look nicely together, nice together. And we'll take this piece of cardstock and we'll cut a stitched circle from ML8. My magnetic mat is curling up along the edges. Do you know why? Yes, it's wear and tear, and that is going to happen. So you can definitely try to put a little something heavy on it to get it to flatten out, but that is just wear and tear, and it's definitely going to happen with the magnetic mat because you can't turn it over. You can't use both sides of it, and just like any mat, they start to bend up over time. And that is just one of those things, wear and tear. Okay, so I'm going to layer these 3 circles together. And then I think I'm going to pick a floral image to do with this card. And we can use some of these purples and play off of these purples. Oh, maybe we could do purple and emerald. That would be really pretty. So I love these colors. I love the Wild Wisteria. It's so glowy, isn't it? It's just so glowy on white. It just pops so much. Okay, now I want to show you how we're going to die cut these strips to make our little, to make it fit properly. So let's use the emerald and the wild wisteria. So I'll go 2 emerald coast and 2 wild wisteria. We could do 7 of them. We could do 8 of them. You could do as many as you want. But let's just kind of do what we did in on the idea sheet so that you guys can kind of follow along with what's there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down to 5 inches. And I don't have to worry about the rest of it right now. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to place these strips onto this very thin copy paper. So I'm going to kind of make this part of the card first before we actually die cut it. So I'm just using tape. You can use glue if you want. Totally fine to do. And I'm just going to put them on this piece of cardstock. Okay. So I'm going to alternate colors between wild wisteria and emerald coast. So I'm just pressing those up against each other. And a big shout out to Brianne Loveland. Brianne, thank you so much for being here. If there's anything that you're trying to find, you can always ask Brianne and she will find a link for you. I know sometimes with the master layouts, because the way we have them listed on our website, we wanted them to funnel in order of 1 through however many we end up with. So for the ones that are below the number 10, they're like Master Layouts 08, Master Layouts 07. And some people have trouble finding them because for some reason they don't come up in the search when you actually type in Master Layouts 8. You have to have the 0 in there. So if you're struggling, you can always ask Brianne and she will find anything that you're looking for. Okay, so now I've got those strips on there, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the excess off the ends, just so that if there's any tape on those, it's not going to get stuck to my die cut mat. All right, and I can cut this down a little bit too. It doesn't really have to be this big, because I'm gonna trim it anyway. So now I'm going to get the die cutting machine again. And I'm going to use the Master Layouts 8 stitch die. Let's find that die. Here we are. So I'm going to use the Master Layouts stitch die, and I'm going to just, it doesn't matter where you put it. You don't have to try to like get it in the center of the die cut. You could, it might even be easier for you to see it if you do it this way so that you can see that it's straight, because the bottom of the die will help you line it up with your eyeball to see that it's straight. So I'm going to take some masking magic here, make sure that that's straight, and I'm going to tack that down to get it in place. All right. Now I'm going to cut that with the stitch die. So now we're bringing the stitches in. Let's see here. I've got the die in a weird spot here. I don't think it needs to be that tight either. But let me try this. We'll flip it around this way. Make sure it's straight. Looks pretty straight. Does that look straight? Did I move it at all? Let's be sure. I think that's going to look okay. All right, we'll do our best. Oh, I moved it. No, I just moved the whole thing off. Okay, that's stuck down there pretty good. I think the die sticking out the other side didn't allow the plate to go in. All right, now let me take this off and this off because I'll save these. I'll be using these again. And you can see now I've got all of my cute little stitches on the edge, which are going to look so nice when I put them onto this white panel. Now you can either use your scissors or you can use your paper cutter to trim off the excess white, the copy paper. And the reason we used copy paper instead of putting these all on white cardstock and cutting the whole thing out at once is because it's really so thick, really hard to get a good cut when you're trying to cut 2 pieces of cardstock at a time. And that's what you would be doing. You'd be cutting the white piece of cardstock at the same time as you'd be cutting the colored piece of cardstock, and it wouldn't give you a good cut. So this allows you to get a nice cut. And I'm just going to line this up just by eyeballing it here on the end of my blade. And if I cut a tiny bit off, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I just want to get a clean cut here.
Question from Beverly. Will you have the replacement platform, the white piece?
No, we're not going to carry the replacement platform. That's one thing that will not, you can't really damage it. Even if you cut into it by accident, it doesn't damage it. It doesn't change it at all. And it never warps. So we won't be carrying the white one. All right, let's see here. Eyeballing again. Okay. And then I see a little tiny bit of white on this edge here that I don't see over here, but you know what's going to happen? When you put it on here, that's just going to disappear. You're not even going to see it because you've got white cardstock. So now I can position this wherever I want, and the stitches are going to continue on along the side. And that's just going to make it look so nice. Okay. All right, let's throw this away. And now we can assemble this piece here together with some tape. With this, I like to use tape like down the entire side because when you're doing these big die cut panels, sometimes they feel a little wrinkly if you don't have them secured down at the sides. The small panels, you can just do like the 4 corners, but with this, I feel like you need the whole thing. Okay. And now we can adhere this wherever we want. So if I want this to be a decorative center and then I want this to go on top, then I might do my florals top and bottom here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this right in the center of the card. Let's get it right in the center. And that looks pretty centered to me. Okay. And then we can pop this up if we want. I think I'm going to put it right on the card, and I might pop up the florals instead. So I'll just get that right in the center. The nice thing about a circle is you don't have to worry about lining it up to make it straight, because it's going to be straight because it's a circle. Now, why don't we... Oh, boy, do I have any? I don't. Why don't I have any of my cardstock colors? I guess I need to go in the back and get some, but I'm going to use Wild Wisteria as a card base. Might as well.
What do you need?
No, I was going to do an emerald card base, but I think Wild Wisteria. We'll focus on Wild Wisteria and just make that emerald dominant in the floral design. We'll do all the leaves instead of greens. We'll do all the leaves emerald, and we'll do all of the flowers lilac. So let's cut this card base so everybody can see how to do that. So I have to use a big paper cutter for this because this needs to be 10 inches. So I'm going to go to the 10-inch mark. Let's see, where's 10? There's 10. 10 inches by 7 inches. There's the 7-inch mark. Get that right. And that is the size that you need for a 5 by 7. So these certainly can be used for other things. Like you can cut more strips with this. And even if it isn't big enough to do the whole thing, you could certainly get a few of them on there, right? So you could get 4 out of that. So I'll definitely save your strips because you can cut lots of strips. And if you've lost your mojo and you don't know what to do, have a strip day. Have a strip cutting day. How's that? Is that better? Oh no! My score tool just flew across the room. I got it. Okay. Now I'm going to make a score line here, and I'm going to do that at the 5-inch mark. So we can get this all the way up to the top, because with this scoring board, you can actually start up on the top here, getting your tool in there. All right, and I'm going to do a couple score lines just to really get a good impression. And then fold, get that in there, and crease. So the one thing about the 5x7 cards is you're always going to end up doing a side fold. And that's because in order to do a top fold, you would need cardstock that measures at least 14 inches, right? Because this is 7 inches. Now, some of you buy, cardstock that does come in like 11 by 17. So you could do that like at the office supply store. They have cardstock that comes in 11 by 17. So if you like the top fold, you can go to the office supply store and get that. But I am not going to get a whole ream of that for the 5x7 cards. I'm just going to make the book fold style like this, and I think it's just fine. And I got to tell you, this was my mom's favorite size when I would make her a 5x7 card, because I've been making cards for a long time, long before master layouts, and we would just cut a card base, And she always felt like she was loved more when I would send her this size card, because she always thought that the bigger the card, the more the love. And that's so cute, I get that. That's so cute. Okay, so for my flowers, I have a couple flower sets here, and this was one from a little while ago. This is the spring clusters, and I feel like this would be a cute one to use today because I'm going to do 2 of these. This way I can wrap them around top and bottom and still show my cute little element here, my decorative element. So I'm going to get my Misty stamping tool. I know it's out here somewhere. And I'm going to cut or stamp 2 of these flowers. Now, any flowers would work too. If you wanted to use something like this, you can always have it kind of draped around, kind of in a semicircle kind of look, like not straight around, but like off to the side here and off to the side here. And this would take up a big portion of the card, which is fun too. Whatever makes you happy, whatever you like the best, that's what you should do.
Question.
Yeah.
Does the Gina K Design scoreboard have printed 1/8 increments?
They're not. The word 1/8 is not printed on there, but it does have 1/8 increments.
It has notches.
It has notches for it, right?
Okay.
So all the quarters are printed and the halves, and the eighths are just in between. Okay, so we're going to stamp 2 of these, and I'm going to stamp them in black and take my chances, but I've showed you the technique in the past where you can stamp in one color, like a craft, and then go back and restamp it in black after you've done your inking. But today, well, maybe we could do that. Why don't we do that? Just to be safe, we don't want to damage the color at all. So I'm putting this cardstock up here in the top corner. And I'm going to get some craft ink. This might be a little difficult to see, but it'll all come together quickly for you. We're going to ink that up with craft. All right. I could stamp it a second time just to make sure I can see it a little better. But I think you can see it when I kind of like hide the glare a little bit. See that? You can see it pretty well. And you'll be able to see it as it comes to life with the stenciling. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just make sure my stencils are in here before I commit. Yes, they are. Okay. Okay. And here we go.
And a question, how is the sticky mat on the Misty held in place?
Usually with the magnet, you're talking about the sticky mat and not the grip mat. The grip mat just grips to the bottom of the Misty because this is kind of an acrylic, so it's not going anywhere. It's similar to putting a polymer stamp onto an acrylic block. But if you're using the sticky mat and you want that inside, you would have your foam pad, you would have this inside, and then you'd have to put the magnet down to try to keep it in place. That's why I recommend grip mats with the Misty. I think that they're great. I love the sticky mat for stenciling. Okay, so I'm leaving this in here, okay? And I'm going to put that aside. I did not remove that. So now what we're going to do is, I'm going to get my grippy mat here. I'm just going to put this down. My sticky mat, grip mat. It is confusing to have two different kinds of mats, but I really feel like they're important because you use them for two different things. So I'm going to get my ink stand, and then I'm going to find some inks that I want to use. I'm going to use medium lilac. No, you know what I'm going to use? I think if I can find light lilac. Definitely going to use Emerald Coast. Give me a second to find light lilac. Here it is. Oh, what a mess. So I'm going to use light lilac, and medium lilac is actually a good color for wild wisteria. You can see it's a little different, but what I can do is mix this with wild wisteria instead. So I think I'll do that. This way we've got the exact color. So I'm going to start with some light lilac, and I have my ink stand here. This is a product by Brienne Loveland. You all gotta follow Brienne's her Instagram. She has a great Instagram account, and whenever she and her husband are making these ink stands, they do little Instagram reels and show them being cut. They've got this really cool cutter, and it's always fun to see some of that behind the scenes stuff. And I love watching her little reels. And she also makes great cards too, so you will not be disappointed following Brienne on Instagram. Brienne, are you Brienne on Instagram, or are you the ink stand shop, or are you both? Do you have both? I don't know. Let us know. Link your Instagram so people can follow you and see the way these ink stands are made, because it's super cool. And the thing I love about them, and I love about Brienne, is she is a family-owned business. You know, they're working hard, and I love that. Okay, so why don't we do this center flower, now that I've cleaned this brush, why don't we do the center flower in Emerald Coast? I know, it's crazy, right? But let me find an Emerald Coast brush. Is this Emerald Coast? Yeah, I think it is. Let's do a little Emerald Coast on this one.
Question from Kirsten. What is the best color cardstock to coordinate with the Orchid trio of inks?
That's a good one. That's a great question. I don't know. I would say Plum Punch would probably look really pretty, but I'd have to really put a little time into that. I'm not 100% sure on that answer, and I don't want to have you go out there and buy something and then have it not match. All right, so I'm going to do Emerald Coast. Just kind of going around in a little circle here. And I think I might do different greens. So our emerald and our wisteria are going to really, you know, pop on the flowers. Okay. Get a little A little more depth there. I'm going to pull that off and I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to do it again on this one.
And again, what was the ink you used to stamp the flowers?
I used craft ink. And if you don't have craft ink, you could use something like soft stone, like a soft gray. You know, a soft yellow works. As long as you can see it and you feel comfortable with it, it doesn't have to necessarily be exactly what I used. Okay, so I'm going to clean the stencil here. And then I'm going to pop these on here to do these two flowers. And these flowers, I'm going to do a little shading with the light lilac and then the wild wisteria. So we'll start with light lilac. Pretty, pretty. And then I'm gonna just take a tiny little bit of wild wisteria and add it to the center, just to get it a little darker in the center. If you don't have wild wisteria, you can certainly use the medium lilac. The medium lilac is a little more purpley purple, where the wild wisteria is a little bit more blue purple. So I'm cleaning my brush again because I'm going to go back to the light again. And I'm not too worried that there's a little bit left on the stencil. I don't think it's going to matter that much because I didn't do that much wild wisteria. I don't think it's going to change up the colors too much. You can tape the stencil down, but if you press it onto the sticky mat, it'll stay in place. But yeah, you could definitely tape it down if you feel better about it.
Okay, and can you use your re-inkers on your mini ink cubes? If so, how many drops usually does it take to re-ink a mini cube?
So I just posted a video on my YouTube channel on how to re-ink an ink pad. Watch that video and do the same exact technique on the cube. And yes, you certainly can re-ink ink cubes. So it's not really a matter of drops, it's the way that you do it. So I would definitely watch that video. It'll be very helpful because a lot of people struggle with re-inking and it doesn't feel like it really works very well. And it's just because it's easy to do it incorrectly. Okay, so I feel good about this. Now I think I'm going to add black in the centers of the flowers, and then I'm going to go with the traditional jelly bean and fresh asparagus for my leaves. So some of the leaves are on this stencil. We're going to do those first. All of the leaves are on this stencil. There we go. All of the leaves, not some. So I need a little blending brush here, and I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to ink up those. And wait to see how everything pops when you go back and re-stamp with the black ink. And this, because the reason I'm doing it this way is because sometimes ink, like these lighter colors, like the emerald, or if you were doing yellow, it'll reactivate the black in the black ink and it'll gray up your color. When you do this technique, you don't gray up your color at all. I'm using a little fresh asparagus here, just at the bases of those leaves. Okay. So let's line this up again. I think I'm really going to like the way this card comes out. I hope you do too. I have a super easy card to make next, and then we'll make one more after that. Get a little. And our ink has a smoothing agent in it. That's not me, Tom. Is that you? Dinging over there?
Yes.
A little fresh asparagus down at the bottom. But once the ink dries, it's going to look airbrushed smooth. And now I'm going to get my black ink pad, and I'm going to do the centers of these flowers. I know this is brave. You know what I'm going to do? Because I can't see the centers of the flowers right now, I'm going to re-stamp this, and then I'm going to add the black centers. Why not? So if you're using the sticky mat, you just want to do that to it, and then this will pop right off. Okay, so let's get the grippy mat now. And remember, this is still in the same exact spot as it was before. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put that right back up in that top corner, the way it was before. And get my blending brushes out of here. I have to clean up as I go. I'm not very good at that. Are you guys good at that? Is anybody good at that? Because I'm not good at that at all. Okay, that makes more room for me. Okay, now I'm going to ink this up with black Onyx. And I can stamp this more than once to get good color. Let's see how everything pops now. Oop, almost destroyed my shirt. Almost. And then one more light stamping, just in the center there. Okay. That looks so pretty. Now I'm going to flip this and stamp it again. And this way, none of my blue, see how my blue didn't get gray at all? It's still real vibrant. But I think this is going to look so pretty on this card. And while I'm here, I'm going to stamp a greeting right in the center, so that we can die cut everything together. I don't have to pull the Misty out again. Okay, we'll get rid of that now that we've stamped it. And I'm going to add my centers and then my greeting. So what greeting should I use for this? I want a big one. How about grateful for your love and support? Or I could do happy birthday and sending love. Thinking of you. Let's do happy birthday and sending love, because birthday cards are always so useful. Even though I tend to make a lot more friendship cards, but we can always use a birthday card. That's Tom's phone dinging. He's always a little busy. Actually, I'm going to take another piece of cardstock because I got my fingerprints on there. So I'll get a little piece of cardstock here and do happy birthday and sending love. Okay. Give this a couple stampings. I love this font so much. I think it's so elegant. So this stamp set is Spring Clusters. This was actually part of a kit not that long ago. And I think these greetings are really useful. And what I like about them is they're good for any kind of card. They're not too frilly, yet they're still decorative, if that makes sense. So I feel like you can use them for just about anybody. They're a little happy looking because they've got that little bit of a whoosh to them, but at the same time, they're not too frilly. All right. So now I'm going to go back. I can use this mat right here. I'm going to go back and I am going to add my centers into these flowers. So I can see them now. I can line them up better. But I probably should put them the right way. All right, let me clean this before I have a disaster. So it's always good to clean your stencil before you start moving it around on your already stenciled work. And I'm using alcohol to clean mine just because it dries really quickly. Easy to dry. Oh, and I can clean my Misty too at the same time. But if you have a paper cut, and I do, just be aware of that because that's a fun day. Also get the purple off of there. Okay, so let's see. Here we go. Perfect. See, now I can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to lay that down and just tack that down. That'll stick to the grippy mat too. This is our double background grip mat. So it's got 2 background stamps on the back and it's got the grip mat on the other side. We have another one coming out in May. So stay tuned for that.
Do you know what the name of that sentiment stamp is?
It's the same stamp set, the Spring Clusters. Same one we've been using. I feel like this little pop of black in the center is going to just play off so nicely on... Yes! I love that. Now, of course, you can always put like an enamel dot in there or a big sequin, whatever you have, whatever you want. Doesn't have to be black, but something a little darker than whatever colors you just used. I feel like that's going to play off really nice, though, with all the black that we've got going on in this card. Okay, and I'm going to clean this one more time and get it away. Put it away, get it out of here so we don't have a big mess. Okay. Make sure I get my paper cut real good. And this will be put away. Now I will need to get the dies out of here. I like to keep the dies and the stencils and the stamps all in the same pocket. And so I'm going to need this die and I'm going to need the Happy Birthday, which I believe is this one. Happy Birthday and Sending Love. Okay, so this is coming out, and it is time to die cut. Move these out of the way and make some room. And we'll assemble this card. I think it's going to be a pretty one. So if I'm a little close here, I apologize. But I want to stay kind of close up so that you guys can see the assembly of this card. So we'll die cut these one at a time just to be safe and make sure that we get a nice cut. I'm going to make sure that these are cut well. Use my masking magic for this to hold it down. And we'll cut. Okay, so there's one. You can see that's going to be so pretty up here. Look how nice those colors look together. It'll be so pretty. And then we'll do the same thing down here. And we're going to like turn it on an angle too. I want to see it at different angles and see what you guys think. Yeah, wait till you see Master Layouts 20 and how this is going to work with Master Layouts 8. It's really very, very fun to see them together. And everybody's been asking me for new 5x7 dies. So I love this look. I think that that's really pretty. But we could also kind of go off onto the side that way and that way. So I like that too. So which way do you like it? Do you like it straight or do you like it on the angle? Tell me what you think in the comments, and I'm going to cut the words out. And then while I cut the words out, I think, Tom, do you have a word of the day?
I do have a word of the day.
Yeah? Would you like to share your word of the day?
Okay. Time for the word of the day. Let's see here. Okay, so if you get nervous about spending too much at stamping releases, you are perspiring.
That's pretty funny.
If you get nervous about spending too much at stamping releases, you are perspiring.
Nobody's perspiring around here, right?
Back to the dead space.
Oh my goodness. Speaking of new releases, we're going to start our sneak peeks on Saturday. Pretty excited about some things that are coming. Okay, so Tom, is it more straight or more angles?
Angle.
Angle? More angles? Okay. All right. Well, that means all the people that wanted it straight up and down have to make this card, and they have to do it that way, so we've got that inspiration to see too. Because I think that would be beautiful as well. All right, let's get the die cutting machine out of the way, and we'll put this card together. My second card's going to literally take me 1 minute to make. And then the third card, we'll do some fun stuff too. Okay, so I am going to use some Connect glue for this. No, I'm not. I'm not using any Connect glue yet. I'm going to use foam squares for this. That's what I meant to say. Foam. Let me find my foam squares. They might be in the drawer. Here they are. Okay. And I've got some bigger ones here. Excuse my boob in the way. All right, so we'll put this right here. So we're going to go angled. So I'm only going to put it along the bottom here so that it's going to catch the edge. I want to get it a little bit off the circle. I don't want it to be too close. I think that's going to be a good distance right there. All right. And we'll put that right here like that. Now we're going to do the opposite on this side. Like that. Now I've done similar layouts with A2 size cards, but I feel like you really can see how you get more card and more, you know, more of a view of everything else that's going on this card when it's not like, if I did this on an A2 card, it would be all the way out to the edge of the design of the card. This gives us that really pretty. Sometimes I look in the monitor and I can see better. I think that looks good. Okay, and now we're going to do the happy birthday in the center. So we're just going to put foam squares in the center and put a little tape on those two ends. So we're going to lift everything still. Let's see how that fits, if it fits in there. See, that fits so nice. And we don't even need tape on the ends because it's going to just be resting up against that. We've got a lot of sticky here that we can use. Okay. So we'll put that here a little high because now we have the rest of our greeting to go underneath. And I'm going to cut this out. I feel like this is such a nice, simple card. And if you want a busier background, you could always add a little stenciling to the background. You could add a technique, a background technique that you like. I didn't want that foam square there. I'm only going to put foam like from the end and then the send. So I don't need quite that much. Put one there and one here. And then we can add a little bit of tape runner right there. And what's really fun about this is you could add more florals in here. If you wanted to bring another one down under here and one up here, you could have a lot more going on this card if you wanted it busier. There we go. Happy birthday and sending love. And then I feel like we could sprinkle a few little black sprinkles in here. Let's get a whole bunch of them out. So let me get my Connect glue here. I don't know if you noticed at our party, we left it uncapped the whole time, so I had to squeeze it a little bit. So we can add a few little sprinkles of dots.
Gee,
now, normally...
Who didn't put the cap on, I wonder?
I don't know, but, you know. So, what I'm going to do here is normally I like odd numbers. Normally I always like odd numbers. But when I have a card that's got a lot of symmetry like this, then I definitely like to make it more symmetrical. And kind of have that kind of thing going. We could add a few more down here since the whole thing is up a little bit if we wanted. We could put another one here. Just kind of see how that looks. I feel like maybe one more over here. So what do you guys think of that? You like that? A little sprinkle of dots in the mix. I think that's pretty. We might need one less. I feel like that would look kind of nice. I don't want them to look like they're in a line too much, but it's kind of hard. There, that looks pretty good. Okay. So, and of course, do yours however you want. This is just a suggestion. I'm not very good at squeezing the glue with this hand, but I'm doing my best. So let me tell you about what's coming on Friday, which is tomorrow. I'm going to be on the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel at noon Eastern Time, 11 o'clock Central Time. And I'm going to be doing a video with Heidi Crowell from Simon Says Stamp showing you lots of tips and tricks for using the Intracut, including some of those pesky 3D folders and also how to use the silicone mat. So if you would like to join us for that, I would love to have you over there. I'll be sharing that in our Facebook group and here on YouTube. So there's a card right there for 5x7. I love this. My mom would have absolutely loved this card. I know she would have. It's nice and big, and you can write a little bigger on the inside, and it just has that really good feel. Okay, so let's make another card. And this one, I'm going to show you a way that you can use so many of the products you already have in your collection with the Master Layouts 8 die set. Okay, so I'm going to back out just a little bit here. There we go. So I'm going to bring in the die cutting machine and I'm going to cut a black panel. I need a black panel. And find some black cardstock to cut another piece. And for those of you that love cover plates, and I know you guys have lots of cover plates, this is a way to use your cover plates on your 5x7 Master Layouts cards. And this is so easy, so simple. And you've already seen me make this design that I'm going to use as the cover plate. But this is what I love about, okay, first of all, what I love about 5x7 cards is there isn't any postage on the 5x7 that I've come up against. Has anybody come up against postage issues with 5x7? They're like a standard kind of card size, and I haven't had any issues. I haven't had any issues with the slim line, with the mini slim line, or the A2, or the 5x7. I don't know if I'm just getting lucky, but I haven't noticed. And if you like to send a bigger Christmas card, because you know all the boxed Christmas cards are kind of big, and you don't really want yours paling in comparison when people are displaying them and you have your little card there. Okay, good. People are saying no unless it's too thick. Great. That's a great answer because I'm going to make this super thin and it's still going to be full of sparkle. So I'm going to layer these two panels together. And this is just a simple Master Layouts stitched panel and Master Layouts black single, like non-stitched rectangle, both in the set. All right, got this here. Get it all positioned. And then I think I'm going to use, let's see, I think I'm going to use like a bright, maybe a red or something like that. Let's see what we have. Maybe I will use, ooh, this is our sun-kissed coral. I want to see what this looks like. No, I don't think that's going to be the color I want to use. I think I'm going to go with just a bright red or even maybe a green. Let's see how the green looks. I'll use some Lucky Clover for this. So we're going to make a green card. So once again, we're going to cut this down to 10 inches by 7 inches. 10 inches by 7 inches. And we're going to score this at the 5-inch mark. All right. So we'll score this at 5. There we go. I always like to put it back in here when I do the crease. Okay. There we go. And now I'm going to just place this right on top here. And we do have 5x7 envelopes in our store. So, you know, if you're not sure what kind of envelope to use for this, we do carry them. I think you could probably get 5x7 envelopes in lots of places, probably even locally. But, you know, if you're struggling and you're looking for them, we do have them. And I love that you could send a bigger card like this without worrying about extra postage. I think that that's so cool. Okay, also the bigger cards are great too when somebody's retiring at the office or something and you got to get a lot of signatures in the card. These bigger cards are great for that too. So I made this panel earlier around Christmas, and all I did was take a piece of our sparkling silver foil, and then I colored it with Copic markers. So I used a red marker, I used a yellow marker, I used a red, I used a somewhat orangey marker, I used a yellow marker, a green marker, and a blue marker. But you could also do this with a piece of sparkling silver foil and color red, green, blue, red, green, red. Or you could just use red foil and just cut a piece that would fit under there. And I just taped it onto a piece of cardstock back there. And then I cut our Peace, Love, Joy cover plate. It's an A2 cover plate. And that foil is just showing through. So this has all of the sparkle without the bulk, right? But this is kind of small. But look how nice this looks when you add it into the center of the ML8. It just feels so big and bold and so easy, and it's got all the sparkle that you need, right? All the sparkle that you need. So you don't even have to add embellishments, so it's not going to be thick. This is a great one to mass produce for the holidays so that you can send out some big cards. And I love using any of the A2 cover plates this way because it's so easy. And these big designs like this look like they're perfect. They were made for a 5x7 card. I could have put that on there a little straighter, but you get the idea, right? Isn't that so easy? So you can make all your A2 panels and then just pop them right on that 5x7. And with that big bold greeting like that, it's perfect. And all of your sparkle and shine is in there, but it's nice and flat, so it's not going to cost you anything extra to send. So go through your cover plates and see what you have and see if you can add a little sparkle behind them, alcohol, ink techniques, whatever, and then just add that right to that 5x7 layout, and you've got a gorgeous, fast card that's bigger, feels more substantial. So I told you it was going to take 1 minute, right? Okay, so let's take a look at some of the other layouts that we have here. We'll pick one more, and then we will call it for today. We've got lots of samples to share in the group. Let's see. Well, I think we should do something with the flag so we can get a greeting on there. And I really kind of like this card right here where it has the flag under there. But I also really like it even more with Master Layouts 3 involved because I think that that's so pretty. But what I can do is, let's see, do I have Master Layouts 3? I must have Master Layouts 3 here somewhere. If I don't, I can just cut it. I'm looking. I do. So Master Layouts 3 is the Master Layout set that was designed to go with the Wreath Builder. But I feel like it would be nice to have something, a little something, so that you can see some crossing over. And to save some time, I am going to use some of my pre-cut ephemera, if I can find it. It's here somewhere. I've got all kinds of pre-cut things. Let's get the card ready, and then we can decide, and then we'll pick a greeting. So I am going to cut some new panels here because I've got one over there that's a little bit inky. I got ink on my fingers when I made it. So we'll start from scratch, and we'll cut some panels here.
The stones in Gina's bracelet are Larimar, right?
Larimar, yes. Tom gave this to me. This was my birthday present. Isn't that pretty? Yes. I love my Larimar stones. Thank you, Tom. So we're going to cut a white Master Layouts 8 stitched rectangle. That's this big one here. And again, I do like to have it a little bit tighter when I'm cutting these big panels. And I like the corner to go in first. He does have good taste. Thank you. All right, and we'll get that out of there. And then we're going to need one black panel again. So we're going to cut a plain one out of the black. So how many of you who are watching today, how many of you do enjoy a 5x7 card? I think it's interesting because some people will say, oh no, I don't make 5x7, and then other people, it's all they make. And I'm just curious, how many of you here today, 5x7 is definitely something that you like to make a lot of. And then while you're saying that, I'm going to use this one that had a goober on it, and I'm going to cut out a stitched circle. No, it's not my repaired wedding ring. I haven't had it repaired yet. I've been so busy and I've been traveling so much, and it's still sitting in the safe at home, and this is my mom's wedding ring that I'm wearing. And now I have to decide on a color that I want to use here for the other part of this card. So let's see, what color? Should we do some blues? Should we do like some turquoise? We haven't done turquoise in a while. I feel like we haven't done turquoise, but also I do have a blue card here to show you, when I do take pictures of all these. So maybe we should do pink because we don't have a pink card. And I did get Innocent Pink back. So let's do pink. This way we'll have pink, we'll have blue, we'll have all these different things in the mix. Lots of different colors. Okay. So we're going to cut a pink, an Innocent Pink scalloped one. We're also going to cut, to get some of this stuff out of the way, we're going to cut a flag in Innocent Pink. And I have lost my other circle, but here it is. I found it. That quickly, I found it. And we're going to cut a black to go in the center between all these circles. So let's cut these out. So what's the verdict with people? A lot of people prefer the 5x7s. And then we have a lot of people that make them, but they also make A2. Interesting. It's kind of fun to see what people like to make. I didn't really get into making lots of 5x7 cards until, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. This is the black one that I cut out, right? That's going to go underneath here. But I'm going to cut my black circle out of the center of it. I mean, why waste the cardstock, right? Nobody's going to see it, so I'm just going to cut that out of the center. So I've made 5x7 cards in the past, just cutting everything by hand and trying to remember the measurements for all the little layered panels that go in there. But I didn't really start getting into 5x7 until you guys asked me to do a master layouts in 5x7. And then once I had the master layout set, it felt so much easier for me to make a 5x7 because I knew the back of my hand what size to cut my layers to make A2s. But 5x7 always felt very challenging to me. And so having the master layouts made a big difference for me. All right, now I'm going to use the big paper cutter to cut an Innocent Pink card base. Okay. So again, we've got it going 10 inches by 7 inches. 5x7s use more cardstock, that's for sure. But again, if you've got people in your life like my mom who really enjoy the big cards, and if you want your card to be a big statement card, it's kind of the way to go. And I love that. I love the way the 5x7s work. It's a big, it really feels like a big A2 card, you know? It's not like a weird shape, like a slimline where you've got to kind of think in a different way of what kind of stamps you're going to use. It's just a really big A2 card is what it feels like. It's a little different than A2, but that's what it feels like to me. All right, so we're going to add a little stenciling on the background of this card. That was my hair. Just a little light stenciling, and I'm going to choose gray because gray with pink is a knockout to me. I love gray and pink together. So let's do gray and pink. And I think this is a gray brush. Oh, nope, that's a blue brush. That would have been a disaster. Okay, this has got some gray on it. And I want to find a pretty stencil that I can use, a nice background stencil that will give me just a little something. I like this festive stencil. I think that's a really pretty one. I also love, you know, I love the Harvest Flourish. I use that one a lot. Let's use festive. I think that would be really pretty. It gives you that same kind of feel. So we just have to be careful because in the case of a 6x6 stencil, your cardstock's going to extend the top and the bottom. Now you can always extend your stencil, especially if you have a repeating pattern. That's very easy to do. And if you haven't seen me do that, I have videos on that, and I can do that in an upcoming video too. This is not the right kind of stencil. It would be something more like this decorative double stencil where you can continue. Oh, maybe I'll use that so I can show you the technique. That'd be cool. I'll use that. Okay. All right. So I'll use the decorative double. And I'll use like this basket weavy part. So I'm going to add a little bit of that. You know, it's hard because it's kind of bright, but you can see I'm going to just add a little bit in here. And I'm going to be careful not to overlap onto this line. So I'm just going to kind of, you know, add some color in here just to give it a little background. All right. Okay. Now you just have to line up that somewhere on the stencil. See how I'm just lining it up with what's already there? I know it's very light. So what I'm doing is I was over here. Now I'm going to like move over here. And as soon as all the white lines disappear, you know you're in a good spot. Now I can continue on with that stenciling to add a little bit more color. Now I've got it going across. See, it looks flawless, right? Easy. I'm going to do the same thing. I want to go a little more, so I'm just going to find the next spot, like right there. Line that up until all the white disappears. And then I'll finish it up on this side. Okay, and so now I've got that whole stencil. Even though this is much smaller than that, it's easy just to work your way right across. And I just wanted to add that little bit of texture on the background there. Even though some of it's going to get covered up for sure, I just wanted to add it in there so that we've got a little interest in the background. So that's kind of how to expand your stencils for these bigger cards. And of course you can do that top to bottom too. So if you wanted it completely covering the whole thing, you can do that. just make sure that, you know, you kind of move it and line it up again. Okay? All right, so we'll assemble this. And here's my holy background, but you're not going to see that at all. That's going to get covered up, so why not use that? Oh, I love Innocent Pink. Don't you guys love Innocent Pink? It's such a pretty color. There's always some little technique to share, right? We all do that with our friends if we're stamping together, or our online buddies. Somebody asks a question and we're like, oh, I have an idea. Okay, so we'll get that on there. And then we'll put that onto our 5x7 card base. See, when people don't come to the lunchtime live, they miss out on all the good tips. I know people have to work, though. And these lunchtime lives, they're long. I know they are. And I apologize for that, but, you know, you just got to get a lot of stuff in. And so now I'm going to layer these together. So we'll do this onto the black. Got to have the pop of black. And I was going to use Master Layouts 3, but now that I have that pretty stenciling there, I feel like I don't need to, because I've got something in the background there that's, you know, busy enough that I feel like this is going to look really pretty like this. And I'm going to add my greeting to this down here and add my focal images up here. But I don't know what I did with my ephemera. So if I can't find that, I'm going to have to color something. So let's see if I can find it first. I don't think I can. I probably left it at home. I do that sometimes. My problem is I take a lot of stuff home that I want to work on, and then I forget that I have to come back and do the live here, and then I forget the things. So I think I left the ephemera at home. I don't have any. All right, well, we'll do something different. So what we'll do is we'll just pick a floral that we want to use. What could we use? You know what would be really pretty is to use this Delicate Flowers, because this is such a big image, and that could like go off to the side here, and we could really do something fun with this. Let me just see. Let me just look. Oh, this is so delicate too, though. I love that one. But there's another one that I was looking at earlier, and that's home too. Ooh, but you know what would be gorgeous? Okay, I think I have to do this. I think I have to do a bird. I haven't done a bird in a while. And wouldn't a bird look beautiful with some flowers? I feel like the bird is so big and bold that we should do it. So let's do the bird, and then we'll do some flowers from something else. I must be able to find a couple of little ephemera pieces here somewhere. Let's see what I have in my box of tricks. We'll look in the box of tricks here and see what we can find already done. I've got all these little pieces. I just need to find something in the right color, you know? And probably it'll take me longer to find. Ooh, that's pretty, isn't it? Ooh, oh yes, let's use that. That's gonna really pop. And I have more of that one. Look what I found. I found it. I found the ephemera that looks good with the, here we go. I knew it was here because I didn't see it on my thing when I left. Okay. So this is so pretty. This is really beautiful. A little pop of a brighter pink in there. And then even having one of these flowers, like just an assortment of different flowers. Like that. And then we just need some leaves. There's got to be a leaf in here. And if there isn't a leaf, we'll create a leaf. We'll cut something and make a leaf. There's one leaf. here's a branchy leaf we could put up there. And here is another leaf that we could put in there. And then we can pop the bird off to the side. Oh, I'm loving this idea. I'm loving this idea. I know, my chewing gum storage box. Nothing like a chewing gum storage box. So we've got to make room for our greeting, but then we'll pop the bird up here. It's going to look so vintage. Yes. Yes, this ephemera is still available. You can get it. This is one of those that I don't think I can ever retire. I mean, we make this too, just so you guys know. We make this in-house. This is made here in the good old USA in our warehouse. So, it takes a lot to make it though. Take that just in case I need it. Okay, I think this is all going to work, and then we need to put like a delicate greeting on here. And we can bring this down more. Let's see. So we could do like spring blessings, real delicate there. Or we can have something more bold from one of the other sets, like from the spring clusters that we already used. We can do a hello friend. I think that might be better because it's such a big card to do hello friend. So let's do that. We'll get our little bit of stamping in, and then we'll die cut those pieces and we'll be ready to go. Oh, I get so excited when it all works out. And especially when you're live, you know, you really want it to work out. Okay, so here's, I'll use this. All right, so we'll do hello friend. Oh no, I'm going to put it on here, but I do need to stamp the bird. So let's get hello friend. We're going to stamp it right on here. And if I mess it up, here's the thing. If I mess it up, I can stamp it again and die cut it. I know, isn't the ephemera so pretty? And it's so easy. And we've been promising to do more. And I'm telling you, I know that you guys want it. And I really gotta get going on it. I have plans and I have designs, but I just haven't had time to put it all together. Because I do all the designs, other than my daughter who does our stencils. I do all the other designs for my kits and stuff. You know, putting all that together, and it's just, it takes a while. All right, let's hope this is straight too. Does that look straight? If I don't trust it, I think I'm just gonna do this. Does that look straight and centered enough? I think it does. I think it'll be good. Okay, I just used my clear acetate sheet from that stamp set to check it. I think it's going to be okay. But I rarely stamp on colored cardstock. I always stamp on white cardstock. So, you know, stamping on colored cardstock is a little different because the colored cardstock has just a tiny bit more of a tooth to it than the white. Our white is so smooth. So I really take my time. I stamp it several times to get a light touch so it doesn't spread, you know, and it doesn't look kind of fuzzy around the outside. I'd rather stamp it 10 times and have it look crisp than, you know, have too much ink and have it absorb down into the paper. The smooth paper has less absorption, so the image stays more crisp. But these cardstocks that have a little more tooth to them, they'll absorb the ink and then it spreads a little bit, so you might get some feathering. So I kind of like it when my black ink pad is a little drier and I have to stamp it more than once than having an overly juicy black ink pad. All right, so we're going to put this back, and I am going to clean this sheet so I don't get ink all over me. You can see my hello friend greeting there that I had to check first. And then I'm going to stamp the bird, and I am going to stamp the bird on white. So I'll just use this white piece that we were going to use before, and I'll stamp the bird. I love vintage everything, and I don't use it enough. And when I get on a roll with vintage stamp sets, oh, they're so pretty. And this bird feels a little bit vintage to me. So this set is called Spring Blessings. That's what the bird is from, Spring Blessings. This is an old stamp set. This stamp set was released the year that I moved to Milwaukee, which, what year was that, Tom?
2013.
2013. Here we are, 2025, and I'm still using old sets. You know, I'm sorry, but like some stamps are timeless, and you never want them to not be part of your life. And this is one of them. Spring Blessings will forever have my heart, and it will never go out of my stamp collection. This is one of those that I should stamp a whole bunch of, make my own ephemera out of this set. Because it's got some really interesting stamps in it, like this old-fashioned dress form, and just some pretty flowers in there, and very interesting greetings, like an interesting style. You might be seeing some vintage coming very soon to Gina K Designs. For my vintage stampers. All right, so we've got just a couple things to cut out. We've got nothing to cut out except this bird, because we're leaving the greeting. I thought we might have to cut the greeting if I messed it up, but luckily that was not the case. So we're going to get the die for the bird. And this is going to be a quick assembly for this card. I need a piece of masking magic here. I feel like I've been on live for like forever, and you guys are sticking and hanging in there with me, and I appreciate that so much. And thank you all for coming to our 200,000 subscriber celebration. There are not dies to cut the ephemera flowers because those ephemera flowers are already cut out. So when you get them, they're going to be all cut out for you. It's just a bag of ephemera. And anything else I'm missing, Tom? There's my birdie.
Okay, Diane wants to know what is the grip mat called and where to purchase it.
Okay, so the grip mat is available at Gina K Designs, our store, and it is called Double Background Grip Mat. So look for Double Background Grip Mat, and that's what you will find. And Brianne, if you, she already did it. She already linked it. I didn't even get to ask. She's a linking ninja. That girl can find things that she finds stuff on our website that we haven't even released yet. She's amazing. Okay, so let's have a little bit of fun and let's pop some things up to get some dimension on this card. I think this will be my favorite card of the day, but I don't know, you know, sometimes it's hard to pick a favorite. But this one's up in the running. Okay, so I'm going to put some foam squares on the back of this. So, you know, we have a nice flat card idea when we need it, and that is our using the cover plates and grabbing some foil and making it nice and sparkly so you don't need any extra sparkle. But we can have one that has lots of dimension here. So, I need to know where this is going to go, because this is not going to get popped up. This is going to be underneath here. So I'm going to move that down just a little bit. Thank you. And we'll put that right here. Now, I'm going to make sure that that doesn't stick. And what I'm going to do, I could have put that under there first and put it down, but I really kind of wanted to see where I was laying it. So I'm just going to trim a little bit off of this. You don't have to do that. You could put it down first, but I still want it to be up there a little higher. So I'm just going to trim a tiny bit of this off. We can improvise when we have to. All right, and then that is going to slip under there. So you won't even see, you know, that I trimmed it off. But we're going to get that in place. Okay. So there we go. Right there in the center. I like that this looks like a ribbon, like a blue ribbon kind of thing. I think that that's really cute and really pretty and a fun way to add a greeting other than just our typical way that we always do. And now I'm going to do the layout again. I have to see where to put things. Definitely got to get that in there. Love that bright. And having this kind of sticking out from the top is pretty. I'll spread these out a little bit. I like them to go off the circle. Nothing like a beautiful cluster of flowers. And then we'll do these two leaves, kind of tuck them in over here to get some greenery on this side. I might do that like that. And then we'll have this sticking out of the top, like that. Okay, you guys like that layout? Because we still have our bird that has to go on, and we're going to put the bird right here, like that. Okay, I like it. So I'm going to start with the parts that are going to be flat, and I'm going to slip those in place. So that is good there. This is good here. Like that. We'll get these in place. This card does kind of match me, yes. That was dumb luck. But I love Innocent Pink. It is such a pretty color. We'll get that up just a little higher so it doesn't block the hello friend greeting. Then I'm going to pop these up one at a time. So this one's going to go behind there, and it's going to be popped up. Do that there. This one we're going to pop up behind there. Like that. And then this one's going to get popped up like right there. Right here. Okay, so now we've got dimension, tons of dimension there. And we're going to pop up the bird right over here. So the bird's going to come in like this. So I have to make sure that I don't put a foam square like right here, but I put it on this side of his wing so that he's popped up like that. And then I'm going to put one on his head. And one right in there, like that. Pop them up right there. Oh, I think that's so pretty. That is really, really pretty. Okay, we'll do it. Now, Tom had to step away. He has a meeting. And he said to me, "Are you going to go for 5 hours today?" And I said, "I might." And he said, "All right, well, I'm going to leave you the drum roll. And right before I leave, I will spin for a winner who's left a comment for our gift card." And he just gave me that name over here. So I don't know that this needs anything else. I mean, it's always pretty to add a little sparkle. We can see what it looks like. I've got it right here. I feel like silver because it's kind of a cool card. I feel like a few little silver embellishments would be pretty. Maybe we put one on there. I feel like we need 5. I have one more that's in the right direction. That's pretty. Let's do that. We'll add them. We'll add them. I do feel like it's nice to have a little sparkle on these open areas of the innocent pink flag. Again, I'm not left-handed. I don't even pretend to try. Some people are both. Ambidextrous, is that what that's called? I don't know how they do it. I'm right-handed and I have trouble with my right hand. But I love that. It's just so full and springy, full of flowers. So I'm going to back up and we're going to take a look at all of these 5x7s, but I really need to push some stuff out of the way here because we need a lot of room for the 5x7s, and there is a lot going on this desk right now. Inkstand. Okay, let's see if I can back out well, it's pretty backed out. Let's see. Let me grab all the cards. Okay. So we have this one. That's the easy one, coordinating with the cover plate. Got this. Look at all these 5x7 card ideas. Let me see if I can just go to the overhead and get me out of there. A lot of ideas here. A lot of different things. I'll take pictures of all of them. And I know you have some pictures of these from, recent videos, but some of them are new and some of them, you may have forgotten because it's been so long since we did them. So I think it will be good to have all of these ideas in this video. Now let me grab my headphones so that, oh my gosh, last time I was doing a drum roll, but I didn't have the headphones in and I kept hitting the button saying, why isn't it working? And you guys are like, stop it with the drums. Stop it with the drums. Okay, so we're going to pick a winner today. But before we do this, I would just like to say one more time, thank you to all our 200,000 subscribers. We're so grateful for you. But if you're not subscribed yet, we would love to have you as a subscriber. So all you have to do is hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you'll never miss another video. And if you like the video, we certainly wouldn't mind if you wanted to give it a thumbs up. We would appreciate it. Now, if you're not part of our Facebook group, we would love to have you over there. It is called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. We do have a couple of questions and agreeing to the rules before we let you in. But once you're in, we would love to see all of your beautiful Gina K Designs inspiration. We know that we've got some very creative people out there. And then if you missed one of Brianne's many links that she shared with all the products today, and you'd like to know where to find the things that I use today, you can visit us on our website at ginakdesigns.com. You can find everything over there. Okay, so I think I got all of the buttons, right? Got all the buttons? Did all the buttons? Okay. So now it is time to pick a winner. Okay, so we're going to give away a $15 Gina K Designs gift card. So let's have a drum roll. The winner is Darcy Malsom. Yay, Darcy, yay. Congratulations, Darcy. You win a $15 Gina K Designs gift card, and all you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we'll get that out to you. Well, guys, I hope that you're enjoying this Master Layout series. We have many more Master Layout sets to explore together, and I can't wait to do that with you. Next time, we'll be exploring Master Layouts 9, and that's the one we used for this, but there are so many cool ways to use that, and I think you're going to love it. And remember, tomorrow I'll be live over on the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel, 11 Central Time, 12 noon Eastern Time. And we will be exploring the Intracut and a whole bunch of fun things that maybe you didn't even know that you could do with it. Plus, I'm going to show you how to use some 3D embossing folders, including the Simon Says Stamp ones and the Sizzix ones, because they're both a little different, and you can see how easy it is to get a great impression with embossing folders and the Intracut. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow, and in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all so very much, and We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.